So, the OnePlus 15 is supposed to have the best tuned Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 performance inside a mainstream flagship phone. But can it beat the Apple's A19 inside the iPhone 17? Well, let's find that out together today. We've compared everything from the CPU to the GPU to gaming to battery performance to network performance just to find out which one of these two phones is the performance beast if you're looking for a performance beast. Alright, without wasting any more time, let's get down to it. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm Eshan. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now, I'm not going into the breakdown of the architecture of both these chipsets. We have a handy comparison chart for you. You can just pause the screen right now and you can see all the details for yourself. Now that you've done that, let's take a look at the benchmarks and let it be known that we actually ran all the benchmarks in performance mode on the OnePlus 15. We started with Geekbench and the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 easily beats the A19 chip with multi-core score over 11,000 points. Now in single core, Apple's A series of chips have had like a insane lead for the longest time, but with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, that gap is closing up, which is evident from the single core scores. So right off the bat, I think that OnePlus 15 is doing a fantastic job. Now, when we ran the GPU benchmarks is when we realized the clear focus that OnePlus has on gaming this year. Now in the Wildlife Extremes test, we look at the highest and the lowest loop scores, and it is higher on OnePlus compared to Apple. In fact, you also get superior frame rates as well. And the trend continued in Solar Bay and Steel Nomad Lite, where the OnePlus 15 was once again in the lead. Now the iPhone 17 does have a marginal advantage in stability, that's for sure. Now we also checked the storage speeds of both the phones, and the UFS 4.1 storage on OnePlus 15 had noticeably faster read-write speeds compared to the iPhone 17. Now in daily usage too, if you have heavier games or files, they load faster on the OnePlus 15 compared to the iPhone 17. How times have changed. So in short, based on comparable synthetic benchmarks across these two devices, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 inside the OnePlus 15 is more powerful than the A19 inside the iPhone 17. Now we're going to talk about some real-world gaming tests, and you will love the numbers that we will show you. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead, do that. We are trying to hit 1 million soon, and your support is something that we really want. Now to test real world gaming, we played both Genshin Impact and yes, after popular request, Wuthering Wave 2, both for 30 minutes at highest graphics, and the results were very, very interesting. Now starting with Genshin Impact, now you know that with OP Core, you can actually have 120 FPS gaming possible with hyper frame rate. Now it's native level 120 FPS, which means that you don't have the traditional problems that you have with frame interpolation on a separate display chip. For example, there are some touch latency issues or stutters sometimes, or blur as well. All of that is not a problem at all. It legit feels like you're playing the game at 120 FPS. And therefore the numbers are quite telling when compared to the native 120 FPS that is possible on the iPhone 17. Now after 30 minutes, OnePlus proved smoother and cooler, averaging 119 FPS compared to 107.3 FPS on the iPhone, with the maximum temperatures under 36 degrees. Now in Wuthering Waves, we had a 60 FPS target, and what we got was 59.1 average FPS on both the phones. But this time, OnePlus ran slightly hotter. So overall, if you look at gaming performance, technical capability wise, the OnePlus 15 is definitely better than the iPhone 17. And I haven't even talked about the fact that you can actually play Call of Duty at 165 FPS. But yes, you, me, and the entire industry knows this by now, is that Apple does have support for AAA titles to show off the gaming capabilities. But on the Android side of things, and this is not necessarily a OnePlus problem, is that those titles don't exist. All that said, between these two phones, for overall performance, if you look at it, including gaming, I would say the OnePlus 15 beats the iPhone 17 this year. But more performance means it'll affect battery life, right? Well, that's not necessarily the case with the OnePlus 15. What you get is a humongous 7300 mAh silicon nano stack battery, and that gives around 9.5 hours of screen on time compared to the 8 hours that's possible with the iPhone 17. Which means, yes, the iPhone 17's battery optimization seems to be really good for a tiny battery, but the OnePlus 15's battery life is definitely longer. But more importantly, even the battery charging speeds are better, because the included 120 watt Superbook charger gets you from 0 to 100% in roughly 40 minutes. The iPhone 17, of course, doesn't offer you a charger inside the box in the first place, and it caps out at about 37 watt with a compatible charger, and it takes a little over an hour to charge fully. Even in wireless charging, OnePlus leads with 50 watt AirBook, where iPhone tops out at 25 watts. Now with the iPhone, you do get magnetic charging, so keep that in mind. By the way, OnePlus does sell magnetic cases separately for the OnePlus 15, with which you can actually get MagSafe connectivity as well. But overall, if you ask me, battery tech, OnePlus wins. Even the network performance with the OnePlus 15 is top-notch this year. It matches the iPhone in terms of Wi-Fi 7 capabilities, Bluetooth 6 and NFC, of course. But with the special Wi-Fi G2 chip that is extra on the OnePlus 15, you do get enhanced speed and stability. Now what that means is that if you're far away from the router, the OnePlus 15 will probably still have stable connection compared to the iPhone 17. And there are some unique features that I've personally used and completely love on the OnePlus experience, and that is O roaming and beacon link. So with O roaming, you can get an eSIM directly from the phone itself, and you can even, pause the eSIM if you want to, which is a feature that I've not seen in many other eSIM providers. And with beacon link, you can actually have a Bluetooth connection maintained with any other OnePlus, Oppo or Realme user and have a direct conversation with them, which is cool. So yeah, after running benchmarks, gaming tests, battery comparisons, network comparisons, it is clear that the Android side, which is the OnePlus 15, is pulling ahead of the Apple side this year. Yes, Apple does have its own niche advantages in terms of the console level ports that you get and ecosystem features, but if you want real performance, then it is Android all the way. And I would say OnePlus 15 is leading the pack right now, at least in our testing. So I know that the iPhone 17 is selling like hotcakes this year, but after looking at this comparison, if you're somebody who wants the best performance on their phone, would you still pick an iPhone 17 over the OnePlus 15? I'm curious to know. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.